Hi guys! It has been a while and I apologize. I have no excuses. It's kind of like my blog, which I forewarned that was part of the reason why I was doing this, was because I needed to commit to it. But the last update I had provided was that I had a second infection and was working through that. I was put on some more antibiotics, and it actually, after a couple days, split my incision open, which isn't terribly out of the ordinary. It had developed a seroma, which is a buildup of fluid. And as that built up after my drains were removed, it needed a place to go. So it split my incision open a little bit to drain. And it drained for about a week that way. And then once I finished the antibiotic, I was feeling much better. It wasn't painful. Still was leaking a little bit, but a few days after that, the leak stopped. It resealed on its own, and I've been doing great, knock on wood. So far, everything's been great ever since. I did see my surgeon just to follow up and everything, to check on it. Sorry. And I will be seeing her again next week, I think, just to make sure that she's gives me her A-OK to wait to see her again for a few months. So still doing good. I had my full body MRI a few weeks ago, just as a screening. That was challenging. It was almost 3 hours. Being confined inside an MRI tube is not very pleasant, but so far I haven't heard anything. I don't know that I will get results for that one unless anything is shown, because that one's through my cancer screening specialist, not through my oncologist. And I have met with my gastroenterologist, and I'll be having an endoscopy and colonoscopy in a couple weeks. Again, screening. I haven't had one for about 3 years. It'll be the first time having the endoscopy, but because of the results of my genetic test, or genetic mutation, it's just additional screening I'll have to have for the rest of my life. And I think I have 2 ultrasounds I still have to have, like an abdominal and a pelvic, kind of to look at like ovaries and stuff. And then I think I'm caught up finally. So that will be great news and a great feeling to be caught up on all the screening. Excuse me. And of course, no more mammograms, so that's good news. So we're just doing good, enjoying the beautiful weather, and taking it one day at a time. Throughout all of this, like kind of towards the tail end of my infection, my husband had his second COVID vaccine, and it seems to have triggered some underlying symptoms, and he has been struggling. It's been really bad. We're not blaming the vaccine. We're pro-vaccine. I just got my first vaccine a couple days ago, so I still did that, even seeing him. But he initially had the same symptoms everyone kind of complains about, just not feeling well, almost flu-like symptoms a few days after his second vaccine. But then it continued to progress and get worse, and he got to the point where he just felt winded all the time and chest pain. So he went to the ER a couple times. His lungs were actually partially collapsed, and they couldn't figure out why. He actually had a lot of COVID symptoms, but he had the COVID test come back negative, so it was pretty scary. He seems to be improving a little bit now. He's seen a lot of specialists just to make sure. He has been out of work, so that has allowed him to rest, because he gets winded walking from one side of the house to the other, and he's generally the healthy one in the family. So that's been hard. We never like to have, you never want illness or ailments in your family. But my rule of thumb is I at least prefer it to only be one of us at a time. So it was kind of hard because we overlapped a little bit here. That was certainly challenging. That doesn't happen very often for us. We've joked that since the beginning of our marriage, or beginning of our relationship really, that we alternate having bad things, medical issues go on. It just has always worked out that way, literally since like our first year of dating. But, luckily most of the time they don't overlap, because when it overlaps, especially now that we have kids, it's horrible. Mommy and daddy don't get a day off really. So this has been a challenge. Matter of fact, we bit the bullet and had a house cleaning service come in here and do quotes and stuff, because just can't keep up with day to day anymore, just because we're not at full capacity yet, either of us. I'm feeling pretty great. He's starting to get a little bit more mobile and functional, but he has to take it easy and be careful. So we're taking our challenges as we can handle them, and that's all you can do when medical stuff happens. You got to look at the bright side. Everything could always be worse. For the most part, we're healthy, we're happy, kids are happy and healthy, and so we just will take it one day at a time like we do everything. But anyways, thanks for watching. Enjoy this beautiful sunshine, and I hopefully will not go so long in between an update. Bye.